This is Majin, and welcome to the big old stack of comic reviews. What we have here is Future's End, Action, Doomsday thing. We have Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman Eternal, Ghost Rider, New Avengers, Fantastic Four, All New X-Men, and Avengers Undercover. Alright, let's get Future's End out of the way right now. This issue I liked a little better than the last issue, but I'm telling you, I truly hate Firestorm. I used to really like Firestorm, and it pains me to say this, because I like the new look, but he's such an asshole. You just want him dead type thing, because he's such a... You just don't even want this character to exist. Now, this is basically the funeral issue for Green Arrow, and like Mr. Terrific, he actually makes this really good point in that all the superheroes are there, and it's like, why didn't a supervillain take a pot shot, do some supervillainy action against the heroes when they were all right there with their guard down? That's besides the point. They also, in this issue here, they introduced the dynamic relation, or the relationship between Mr. Terrific and the Justice League. There's some tension, and he basically is kind of like going, well, look, you guys are icons. You are the highest level, and you have to work as this together. While I am a solo person, I am the highest what I can achieve, but I can do it by myself. I don't need you. And so he's like, kind of like, he feels that he's a better symbol for people because it's more empowering. Because it's, if Mr. Terrific can do it by himself, why can't I do it type thing? So anyways, there's some allegations being made by some of the heroes against Firestorm about how he's at fault. He's the reason why Green Arrow's dead, and he storms off. And I don't know. It's like, I'm really torn with this book. The art, I really like the art. They're doing a decent job, I guess, in laying down the foundation of this world. But at the same time, it's kind of like, like, even though they're going, well, this is a maybe in the possibility in the future. We all know, Future's End, none of this stuff was intended to ever happen, ever. Maybe they might take a couple plot points that they came up with at some writers' meeting that they like, and maybe they'll insert that in later. But really, you're really gonna kill Arrow, please? Anyways, I enjoyed this one a little bit more than the first issue, but let me just lay down this. This still is by far not a great book yet. Oh, and they're also throwing down some hints about the Earth 2 World at War, and how Green Arrow was this key guy who united everybody type thing. So that's that. Now, for the Doomsday books, there is a specific order you have to read them in. You have to read the one-shot, Action, and then Superman and Wonder Woman. Now, here's the thing. Doomed was... This was... I really liked Doomed. I mean, it had some great artwork. You had this sense of, like, I gotta do something with Superman. The fight between Doomsday and Superman was really short, which was very disappointing. And the thing that it's kind of like really got me was, it's like they figured out that Doomsday's, what he's trying to do is he's trying to get Superman, obviously. But his entire thing is different this time. It's kind of like, he's generating this lava, intense heat type thing. He's got some poison going on. And he's eating people, in a sense. He's like sucking their soul or life essence. Now, what he's doing is he's trying to eat more people, so this way he gets more powerful, and eventually he'll take out Superman. Well, Superman goes, well, I'll just go to Venus then and take Doomsday with me. And he does. He leaves him on Venus. They battle a little bit, and he comes back to Earth. Well, dude, don't you remember Doomsday is teleporting all over the place through dimensional doorways, and Doomsday comes right back to Earth. So I was just like, oh, God. Oh, it's like one of those things where you go, I thought you guys were supposed to be smart. But anyways, the end of the battle was really short. But it's one of those things that it's like, it was a very satisfying moment to see it happen. And then there's a part of me that's going, why did this only end in one issue? This should have been longer. And then you go, there's that follow-up, the story's not done yet. So, it's this weird sense of feeling. So anyways, now that's that. Now, then we had some good art, then we get some bad art. Now, what we've discovered here is there's particles with Doomsday, and Superman inhaled it all. And he's basically turning into Doomsday. And that's what's going on in this issue here. And it's, basically Batman knows that there's something wrong. Wonder Woman knows that there's something wrong. Superman's acting a little crazy. Krypto, at first, is kind of like, hey, here's Superman, woof, woof. And then, he's not so woof, woof any longer. He starts growling. Now, in the third issue here, this one, you have Superman's basically going into his apartment. He tore the place up, which kind of makes me wonder, why didn't anybody call the cops with that kind of destruction? Then you have Wonder Woman coming in there, and she's like, I'm Diana Prince, and I'm Clark Kent's woman, so why don't you tell me where he is? And I'm like going, nobody's putting the connection between, like, she's Wonder Woman, and he's Superman, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going to happen once that happens? That's a story waiting to happen, I'm telling you. But anyways, so there's all of that going on. There's the Lois Lane being purpley eyes, which I don't know what's going on with that. But you also have a nice little, it's not really, it's like Superman's totally different. I mean, he's like I mentioned before, he's turning into Doomsday. And, he's becoming blockier. His attitude is changed. And he's definitely, turning into, I guess what you can say, what he'd be most afraid of. This unstoppable killing machine without remorse or, anything like that. Anything that was good within him. And this is the issue here where they're finally going, okay, something's wrong, we need to save Superman. Now, so far I will say this, out of these 3 issues, so far I'm enjoying it. It's I like that it's a little different take on Doomsday. Granted, I really wanted to see the punching. Very disappointed I didn't get to see it enough, but this issue really did have some fantastic images of Doomsday. So that was good. Now, by the time the sad thing is this, we already know that Superman's he's gonna get cured and everything's gonna be back to normal again. So it's kind of like a letdown in my head already, but I will say this, it wasn't too bad. Batman Eternal #6. Why are they trying to... Here's the deal. I get the strange feeling that what they're really trying to do here is they're trying to start like as many different side stories as they possibly can instead of telling one nice story for the long haul that has subplots along the way. Because here we get introduced to another plot line. It's like basically the Spectre comes knocking in Wayne Manor, going, hey, there's a problem in the Arkham Asylum. You might want to check it out. Superman's like, oh, because I'm busy, because I am Batman, and I got a gang war to deal with. And then the Spectre's like, well, Batman, there's something evil going on in Arkham. And Batman's like, well, then I guess I better send Batwing. And he calls Batwing on the phone, and, they're going to go to Arkham and see what's going on. Now, of course, they can't just let this person drop. And they reintroduce Joker's daughter again. And I'm like, oh. The only thing that makes her creepy scary is the fact that she's wearing the face. Other than that, man, somebody just beat her to a pulp. She's not like superhuman or anything. Ugh. Ghost Rider. This is kind of like an origin issue because we learn basically the spirit of vengeance, so to speak, talks to him, and he's like, hey, this is what I am. I am a dead person, and like I saw, you like getting killed, and like your situation was similar to me. So it's like I thought it'd be really cool if I gave you my powers, and then we work together, and we take out some crime. And he's like, oh, what? Do I get a car? And he's like, yes, you do. He's like, okay, sign me up. So then they become Ghost Rider team, and they're gonna start kicking some ass. Along the way, you have a Hyde, a jacked up version of Hyde, and you can tell they're just waiting for the fight to occur. Now, so what really appeals to me about this book is this: I'm calling it like it's Felipe Smith. I mean, because his writing style is so different compared to what a normal comic book writer is. You know, things are more exaggerated. It's going to be more over the top. And I know that term gets used a lot, but you know, he's a type of writer that looks at things a little bit differently than other comics. Like especially if you read his mangas that he did, or the ones that came out from Tokyo Pop years ago, MBQ, and then the one he did in Japan. That it's different. I mean, he's not cut from the same cloth, and I think that this is, for me, this is what's appealing to Ghost Rider. If they put anybody else in here, I don't know if I would have liked it, but it's a very unique twist, and it's like based on what he's done in the past, I'm expecting some good violence. But my disclaimer is this isn't for everybody. This is not for your die-hard Ghost Rider fan, because you're going to read this book and it's going to be nothing like the character you know and love, and you're just going to rage quit. But if you're looking for something different, something like for the new Marvel Now type thing, yeah, give it a try. It's not. I don't think Ghost Rider will ever be a book of the week type thing, but Ghost Rider is definitely one of those books that so far it's at a nice solid pace that's keeping me entertained, and for me I'm happy with that. Keep me entertained. Okay, on to New Avengers. Now this here has not been keeping me entertained as much. I've been enjoying it, but I've been really getting sick and tired of, hey, there's this other group of superheroes out there, and they're really good, and something horrible might happen. Oh, translation: one of us might die because we're actually going up against somebody good who can fight. And you have this nice little talk with the Black Panther, with the ghost of the Black Panther. You have what's been going on with Black Bolt, and finally, when we get to the end, you have the battle about to start. Now, I'm really torn with this art, because the art with the New Avengers has been good. It's been a little different, but good. But this kind of is making it's a little bit more what traditional comic book art would be like. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I still like it. But it's this part of me is like this inconsistency of the styles that's making me. For me, so it's a little bit distracting. That being said, like I said, we finally get the battle starting, and we get a little potentially foreshadowing of something is going on with Tony. And by going on, I just mean the White Swan is indicating that something's off with him, or something will be off, which we kind of already know with the original Sin, but I think she's also implying that there's something else. Fantastic Four, number 4. Now, this was really close to being my book of the week. Really close. Now, what really brought me in for this is the art. The fight scenes were just fantastic. I love the camera angles that they used. The action was really good. It was strong. And I think overall they did a great job. You had the substitute Fantastic Four come in and do the assist. You had some funny dialogue because you have the daughter of one of the wreckers, and she's mouthing off, and then the Wizard's like, hey, now watch your language, because like your dad wouldn't approve. So I thought that was kind of like funny, because you have the Wizard, who's a supervillain, telling somebody to watch their mouth, and that's something you don't normally expect. And the key thing about this book, like I said, all of this was great, but at the very end, it was set up for the Shield to come in and basically bar the Fantastic Four from going into the Baxter building and giving them the summons to court. So while Robinson is not doing, in my opinion, as great of a job with the Invaders, he's doing a fantastic job with the Fantastic Four, and this is really, I mean, this is really so much like a breath of fresh air in that it's like the last storyline with the Fantastic Four going through the different, universes, trying to solve their disease problem. That this is what I really wanted to see. Some more grounded fighting, some good action, some sense of family, and it's great. Even with Johnny Storm, he's down because he can't even do his flame powers. Everything is nice touches along the way. It's keeping me interested, keeping me wanting to read, and the art was just fantastic. All new X-Men, I really swear to God, I hate New Brotherhood. I wish somebody would just skewer them all. That simple. Now, that being said, this is one of the most vicious incarnations of the Brotherhood, and they really are going in for the kill type thing. We get this thing about a birth at the beginning. Now, at first I thought I knew who it was. And then there's a panel right here which made me go, hey, wait a second, that's not who I thought it was. But is it what I thought it is? And that's what kind of made me wonder. And then at the very end, we learn who the baby is, and we learn who the mother and father are, and we learn that the father has been doing some naughty things with a villain, super villain, which kind of made me wonder, man, that super villain, she's like having sex with like a lot of superheroes, and it's kind of must be awkward when they meet on the battlefield, when like how they're able to not. I guess you could say I marvel at how they can keep the sexual relationships aside. Like think about it this way. You dated some girl, you had some sex and whatnot for a while, and then next thing you know, she's like with somebody else, and you're like about to fight, and you would think words would be blurted out, and they never blurt those words. So that's what kind of is like really surprising. Considering, like Wolverine, for an example, gets around a lot. And Wolverine wasn't the one who got around a lot in this issue. But, that being said, I won't spoil who the dad is. Or the mom, but you can kind of guess who the mom is. Anyways. The art, Immonen's art was fantastic. And see, what I really also liked is this. You really get the sense of, okay, here's the new X-Men skill level, really down low. And then you have Cyclops. And you can see this huge difference in skill and in power and in abilities. And I really like that. They're like the new X-Men just don't come in and just, kick butt and take names. It's like they're getting their butts kicked pretty easily. And it's up to the adults to come in and like try to save the day type thing. Overall, I'm really liking this. I'm telling you, I hate that. I hate the Brotherhood, which means Bendis is doing a great job in writing the Brotherhood, because I really hate them. Avengers Undercover. This is a fantastic cover. Almost poster worthy. Ramifications of killing Arcade. Shield comes, picks up the team, and then the Son of Satan comes, Damian, whisks them away, and then of course this is the issue where Baron Zemo makes the offer to turn to the dark side. Now, overall, I'm enjoying this book, but this isn't what I would consider like, this is that type of book that you read as, it's like a side dish. It's like, for an example, you go to KFC, you buy yourself like a two-piece Mio with your Future's End and Original Sin as your the chicken, and like Avengers Undercover would be your mashed potatoes, and you may as well throw in Ghost Rider because you're going to want some mac and cheese on top of that. So that's what this is kind of like, in that it's a nice little distraction to read, but don't expect greatness. The first series it actually turned out surprisingly a lot better than I thought it would have, and Avengers Undercover is slowly turning into something that is capturing the same spirit of the other one, the Avengers Arena, and I'm really curious to see where this is going to turn. Like, because not there's a ulterior motive at work here besides let's just go kill Arcade, and I'm really curious to see how all that's going to play out. And supposedly somebody's going to get killed also, or turn villain or something like that. So I really want to know, and that's the key thing. Is Hopeless has done a great job with drawing me in, making me interested. Give me a reason to want to read it, and I'm enjoying it. So, anyways, that is my stack of reviews today for May 14th. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Like and share. Let me know what you guys thought about this week's books. What would you think I should read? What would you say I should read? I should say that I didn't buy. And we'll have more reviews later. I'm reading a manga, The Seven Deadly Sins, and I'm really enjoying that. So as soon as I can finish that, I'll do a review of that. So we'll have much more stuff. And I have a Japanese toy haul, which I'll do too. So until next time.